Part 16. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 154. Yeah. The other party responded calmly. But, the guy I know is a man. Of course, any strange things may happen in this world, for example, beep beep. Hinata Hikari's words turned into a beeping sound like a TV program being silenced. Humph. The other party smiled, and his tense cheeks began to relax. Even the chill that filled his body seemed to have completely disappeared. The pair of phoenix eyes lit up like stars. Fight until it hurts, and let me see your Hyuga light of justice. Quack. As soon as the words were spoken, the two of them moved at the same time. A child from another village meets the village's strongest hope. A battle began. Be careful. The other party's foot stomped on the ground, making a loud noise. Although he is not very tall, he looks like he has the power of 1,000,000 people. Facing the opponent who was attacking fiercely with a ferocious smell, Hinata Hikaru with a nervous smile on his face slowly raised his white hand. The next moment, he suddenly shot out a palm. Collapsing palm. Buzz. A ripple suddenly appeared in the air. This ripple suddenly appeared in the void 1 meter away in front of Hinata. The next moment, violent force surged out, slamming into the charging opponent. Boom. A muffled sound shook the surrounding space, stagnating the opponent's momentum and making all onlookers freeze in place. Hit. It actually hit. The students stared at the scene with wide eyes. Neither Senju Momoka nor Sarutobi Ryo could hit the opponent, but they were hit by Hinata Hikaru's attack. After reacting to this scene, the whole place was in an uproar. Hinata Hikari's mighty slogans kept ringing out, shaking the campus. Laugh. The charging figure of the opponent fell back. In order to stop this momentum, the girl with a single braid slightly pointed her feet towards the ground, thus plowing 2 moderately deep marks on the ground. It wasn't until he slid 2 meters away that his retreat was completely stopped. Empty 8 diagrams. In the crowd, the little Nara carrot head with dark circles under his eyes gasped and exclaimed. It's Arhat Kwan, a sea-level physical skill. Your version of Arhat Kwan is already outdated. Some students reminded, the great demon king Hyuga has learned the sea-level physical skill Luhan Fist on his own to kill everyone. With spittle flying everywhere, Nara's little carrot waits for the new students who will enroll in the next semester to find out, Hikaru Hinata is so diao. The second tailed Jinhuriki of Kumagakura village, are all bullshit. What a Hyugako NB. The little Nara carrot gave 2 thumbs up and called Hinata Hikari crazily. In the crowd, a red figure was also looking at this scene. It's Kusina Uzumaki. It wasn't until this moment that she realized, the little psychopath she looked down upon, was actually such a powerful being. The student's voice is not without reason, but because, Hyugako is indeed very strong. The girl with single braids who stopped her decline chuckled, slightly surprised. I didn't expect you to be so popular. Quack. Of course, the master of this religion will love you when he sees you and flowers will bloom. Hinata Hikari said very proudly, it was so beautiful. Everyone. Okay, this is very Hyuga. This Hyuga light, is too strong. Uchiha Fire Rock Black Wings glanced at the exclaimed Nara carrot head, and then set his sights on Hinata Hikaru again. Brother, it seems that no matter how hard we try, we can't catch up with Hinata. Uchiha Futaba shook his head. Whenever the brother and sister feel confident about their progress, Hinata Hikaru will jump out and tell everyone. Gaga, you are all hot chickens. Well, like now. His performance is completely superior to Ryo Sarutobi's, and he is undoubtedly the strongest. However, there is still a chance, as long as the Sharingan can be opened. However, the ninja teachers present looked serious. Because when everyone was optimistic about Hinata Hikari, they discovered This girl from a foreign village didn't seem to be harmed at all. It's a secret skill. Still, this attack is not enough to defeat me. The girl with single braid patted her chest with her right hand, as if she was dusting it off. And the collapsing palm, which can break wood and gravel, actually does no harm at all. The people watching suddenly fell silent. The number of people in the school who can withstand Hikaru Hinata's blow can be counted on one hand. And this wild woman actually acted like a perfectly fine person. In other words, she is really awesome, in every sense of the word. The originally clamoring students' voices also completely disappeared. They can only place their hopes on Hinata Hikaru, and let Hinata Hikaru teach this outsider how to be a good person. After all, Hinata Hikaru has an abnormal brain, but is very powerful. Let me see more of your justice, Hinata. With a low cry, he stamped his feet on the ground and flew forward. The opponent's speed this time was obviously twice as fast as before. The fierce speed caused not only wind pressure, but also everyone's exclamations. Hinata raised his hand slightly, preparing for the coming attack. The next moment, the changes that occurred were beyond everyone's expectations. It should be said that they were unprecedented. Secret spider binding. The girl with a single braid suddenly spit out something from her open mouth, which ordinary students couldn't even see clearly. But Hinata Hikaru had Byakugan, so he saw that white thing in an instant. It's the net. The next moment, the fist-sized net suddenly expanded to a diameter of 2 meters, covering it towards the sun. Seeing the flow of chakra contained in it, Hinata Hikaru understood that this was definitely no ordinary net. Without a trace of hesitation, Hinata clapped his palms forward directly. Collapsing palm. Boom. The air cannon created by hitting the air suddenly exploded, blowing the net away. However, this shot is just a small test. The next moment, the opponent's chest bulged high. It was during this gap that she caught Hinata Hikaru's hard time to use the collapse palm. At the moment when Hinata Hikaru launched a move and had no time to take it back. The timing was so accurate, as if he knew Hinata's abilities completely. What the hell is this? Xiangxiao frowned and realized that she didn't feel anything. However, Namikaze Minato had already seen through everything. He stood there very calmly, not caring at all about this dangerous scene. A gentle smile bloomed on his face, seeming to confirm something. Secret spider's nest flower. The single-braided girl opened her mouth and spit out the ninjutsu she was brewing. As expected. Namikaze Minato's voice overflowed in the air. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 155. The net is not a big net, but a continuous network of small ones. Although the area of these small nets is small, each one still contains the flow of chakra. Condensed by chakra, the strength is much stronger than ordinary nets, and it is difficult to cut even with kunai. In particular, these spit-out webs also have high viscosity properties. Once it touches the human body, it will stick directly to the body and restrict the opponent's movements. The students watched the scene intently, either with expressions of horror or confusion. Because they have never seen such a strange ninjutsu. How is it possible that someone can spit out a web from their mouth? Is she a spider spirit? Could it be? Hinata Hikaru is indeed in the retraction stage now and has no time to use the next attack. But, who said that she is only one person? Crimson, clone. A red shadow emerged from the body, as fast as lightning. The next moment, the crimson clone shot out with one palm. Boom. Compared with the ordinary collapse palm used by the main body, the collapse palm used by the crimson clone is obviously more terrifying. It even made a thunderous explosion with one palm shot. Benjang, strengthened by the wave of murderous intent, is full of power. With one palm, the net spit out by the opponent was shattered into fragments all over the sky. Could it be that your name is Yesong? Hinata's eyes flashed. The western border of the Fire Nation. Strange, a secret technique that only belongs to the Earth Spider clan. Plus a woman who speaks up, a woman who shuts up, plus 3 words that never leave the word justice. He was Hinata Hikaru's teammate in his previous life. The upright middle school boy Yesong. Oh, she's a girl now. Pieces of spider silk fell from the air like cotton wool and dandelions, and finally fell to the ground silently. Yesong, you have always been my leader's powerful disciple. Even if you become a woman, you will still be the double red stick in front of my leader's door. Hinata emphasized, but there was some hesitation in his tone. Everyone said, they couldn't understand what Hinata Hikari was talking about at all. What is Yesong? Who is Yesong? Why is it a bit messy? Humph, a special physical clone? I didn't expect that the Hyuga clan's secret technique would be so powerful. However, the girl known as Yesong completely turned a blind eye. Instead, he spoke his lines in a serious manner. Is this how terrifying the Hyuga clan is, the largest clan in Konoha? No. No, it's not. In the crowd, the elementary school students of the Hyuga clan were shouting crazily in their hearts. Hinata Hikari, stop this. This is not Hinata at all. The Hyuga clan should be practicing soft boxing. When other students saw this scene, they cheered. They didn't care what Hyuga or not. Anyway, Hinata Hikaru didn't suffer any loss and was able to do it with ease, which was enough. Intuition tells me that you are Yesong, the Yesong of the Earth Spider clan. The Crimson Clone suddenly returned and merged into the main body. Hinata looked at Nosatsu with shining, buling eyes. Who is Yesong? At this time, someone finally couldn't help but ask. That's a good question. Hinata Hikaru turned back and pointed, indicating that the other party was very wise. Yesong and Spider-Man are half-brothers. If there really are countless parallel worlds and different Spider-Mans in the Marvel Universe, then, Hinata Hikaru believes that Nasomatsu must be one of many Spider-Man. Everyone. It's messy, it's really a bit messy. Everyone decided to ignore Hinata Hikaru's nonsense. But Earth Spider Clan. This term caused a lot of discussion among the crowd. Most students have never heard of this ethnic group. There is no way, there are very few people in the Earth Spider Clan, and they are very rare. In addition, they are not completely limited by blood inheritance, but have special genetic constitutions and secret skills. If the acquisition method is made public, some secret techniques can also be learned by others. But, there are some secret techniques that others cannot learn. For example, the opponent who had distanced himself from Hinata Hikaru began to chew as if there was something in his mouth. Then, she opened her mouth, revealing a ball of yellow substance. Looks like roasted gluten. Seeing this scene, Hinata became even more sure. The single braided girl in front of me is Yesong. Although I don't know why Yesong turned into a woman. But under Hinata's sight, Namatsu began to shape what Hinata considered roasted gluten. In other words, it is better to describe it as organization. I saw Yesong waving his hands rapidly, and the roasted gluten in his mouth began to change into slightly strange shapes. Thousands of needles, thousands of golden needles. There are also existences in shapes similar to boomerangs, hand sickles, kunao, and shurikens. A small ball of roasted gluten makes a total of more than 10 various weapons. Spider sticky gold! Exclaimed the well-informed Tsunade. At some point, she had already stood in the crowd after retracing her steps. The so-called spider sticky gold is one of the secret techniques of the Earth Spider clan. It can secrete body fluids and mix it with chakra, and a strange metal is born. But in fact, its properties are similar to the carapace of living things. Next, Hinata Hikaru, let me test your defense. Yesong kicked his legs lightly, and his whole body flew back lightly. What a weird guy. The ninja teachers looked solemnly as they looked at Nosatsu, who jumped back. The Earth Spider clan originally belonged to the kingdom of Tien. They were wild ninjas. Tsunade watched this scene and explained to everyone. As for why children of the Earth Spider clan appear in the Fire Country. Most likely settlers, or miscegenation. There are many mixed-race people in the ninja world, and intermarriage between different ethnic groups is not uncommon. Although the bloodline is diluted, it can still be reproduced with certain guidance. While Tsunade was talking about these things, Nosatsu's whole body was already pressed against the wall. This move directly shocked the onlookers. He actually even mastered the chakra control training during the Genin period. The ninja teachers exclaimed. Standing on the wall with both feet and bending his body, Yesong used a skill called tree stepping. After the students of the ninja school graduate from Genin, they will be instructed by Jounin to teach them various ninja skills. One of them, the most basic and extremely important, is to release chakra from your feet and stick to the tree trunk or wall, thereby achieving the ability to fly over walls. And this item, in the eyes of a group of primary school students who have not received such training, is extremely magical. Receive. After a low shout, Yesong began to throw ninja tools. The golden ninja tool drew a terrifying trace in the air, and the stirred air was extremely cold. But see. Hinata turned his right hand, a kunao fell into his hand, and he threw it towards the flash of light. Click. Did the sound of metal collision resound in the air? The kunao made of steel was shattered by the golden afterimage in an instant. Terrible hardness. The ninja teachers murmured. The next moment, the golden afterimage is still flying, looking directly at the sunlight. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 156. Alas. Hinata Hikaru didn't show any surprise when he saw the defeated kunao. Nasomatsu's ninja tool is made of special metallic liquid secreted from the body. As long as it comes into contact with air, it will solidify. This special kind of spider gold is not only harder, but also lighter in weight, which means it can fly faster than ordinary kunao. There is always a limit to the ninja tools a ninja can carry. Carrying more will affect the load, thus affecting agility and marching speed. Wild Pine does not have this problem. Ninja tools can be manufactured with you. As long as you have enough chakra and physical strength, you can continuously produce them. It can be said that it is a mobile humanoid cold weapon manufacturing factory. Facing the sticky gold ninja tool that came at least twice as fast and even threw a sound that broke through the air, Hinata Hikaru activated a light blue chakra cyclone with the palm of his hand. It is the basic move of soft fist, which releases chakra outward. Enchanting attacks are achieved by consuming a very small amount of chakra and releasing it from fingers or palms. Looking at Hinata's movements, it's not too easy. Generally speaking, most ninjas will choose to block with their kunao. And it is impossible to counter-attack as accurately as Hyuga Hikaru. In other words, this is something that only the Hyuga clan with Byakugan and Soft Fist can master. It's not over yet. Yesong shouted, opened his bow left and right, and threw various ninja tools in strange arcs towards Hinata Hikaru. Although compared with the Uchiha clan's throwing of ninja tools, it is not as brilliant as the acrobatics, but the advantage is that there are many types, and the arcs drawn by various ninja tools are different, which also results in very strange attack paths. Kunao, shuriken, hand sickle, needle senbon. This is an overwhelming rain of ninja tools. Facing the sharp attack like heavy rain, Hinata just formed seals calmly. Ninja golden binding technique. There was no sound, not a single sound was made, and all the golden after images suddenly stopped. It was as if the actor in the movie had suddenly pressed the pause button. Everything is fixed in the air. The freshmen who had never seen such a strange method raised their heads and looked at the scene with surprised expressions. As for the older ninja students, they were no longer surprised by Hinata Hikari's methods. They could name at least 3 ways for Hinata to deal with throwing ninja tools. As expected of Hinata Hikaru, this arrogant and unreasonable guy met his opponent today. Facing the transfer students from other villages, the students shared the same hatred. Seeing the students' reactions, the ninja teachers all gave up the idea of stopping them. They want to take a look and see the final result. Quack. In the field, Hikaru Hinata stood with his hands behind his back. As the ninjutsu was removed, the gold-sticking ninja tools fell to the ground. It's still the same recipe. Okay, I'm going to use more powerful techniques next. A glimmer of light flashed in Yesong's eyes. The next moment, she bent her legs and kicked hard. The whole person was shot like a sharp arrow. At the same time, Yesong's mouth squirmed, and then spit out a sky full of spider silk from his mouth. Arcane Spider Cocoon. The secret technique of spider cocoon is a ninjutsu that traps the opponent by spitting out a large amount of spider silk, and then wraps the opponent in the woven silk cocoon and suffocates him alive. Like catkins in summer or jellyfish floating in the sky, spider silk instantly enveloped Hinata's body in a 360-degree range. Although it seems to be ordinary spider silk secreted through body fluids, in fact, each spider silk contains a certain amount of chakra. This also ensures that the spider silk is flexible and difficult to be cut by Kunao. Seeing this scene, not only the ninja school students were stunned, but also the ninja teachers who were watching looked at the scene in disbelief. The reason is simple. This has surpassed that of a ninja school student. No, not even a genin can unleash a ninjutsu of this scale. Teacher Wuke understands this very well. Perhaps, only children from families with special genetic constitutions can unleash this exaggerated secret technique. This kind of inevitable attack, everyone thought that they were absolutely unstoppable. The wave of killing intent rises and high fives. In the field, Hinata's Qingxia suddenly rose. The white right hand turned into a claw and slapped the head with all its strength. Boom! Thousands of spider threads were dyed red by the fluctuations of killing intent, and the attack that rose into the air shattered all the spider threads. In the original work, Jirobo's high five can even fly away the giant Koji who used the super multiplying technique, not to mention the light and sticky spider silk. The fluctuation of killing intent expands the range of this move, allowing Hinata's attack to cover all spider threads. With one claw, he cracked Yesong's secret technique of the Earth Spider Clan. The students saw this exaggerated scene and had no idea what to say. When one person is stronger than another, the latter will be jealous of the former. However, when the former completely surpasses and even crushes the latter, all that is left is awe. The wild pine, which was blown away by the strong wind, turned over and landed lightly. Then he put down his posture, which seemed to be a signal to stop the fight. Quack! Hinata Guang flicked his sleeves, put away his right hand, and looked at Yesong with a pair of exquisite and clear eyes, half smiling but not smiling. Yesong, you should have some tricks up your sleeve. Yi. Yesong shook his head, closed his eyes, and smiled. Have nothing left? No, there definitely are. Yesong's strength goes beyond that. Hinata is very determined. But the wild pine seems to have a sense of stopping. Hikaru Hinata, I have understood your justice, I give up. The whole place was silent. No one seemed to react. This guy just said something about admitting defeat. But this seems to be a matter of course. Hinata Hikaru has defeated all the opponent's techniques, so it is reasonable to admit defeat. Only everyone is still a bit unsatisfied. I always feel that the battle can continue. But in any case, Hinata won. This is Hikaru Hinata, the opponent who pushed Ryo Sarutobi to a desperate situation and finally surrendered. 4 countries with. The little Nara carrot head opened his mouth wide and exclaimed loudly that Hinata Hikaru is so awesome and NB. And with his exclamation, the whole place was boiling. There is no doubt that Hinata Hikari is the well-deserved #1 person in the ninja school. Compliments to Hinata Hikari kept coming and going, but amid the compliments, Yesong remained unmoved. She just formed the seal calmly, very calmly. Then all sounds stopped abruptly. Boom. Smoke rises, wild pines. From a girl with single braids, she became a boy with single braids. Everyone. The next moment, the crowd exploded. It's actually a man. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 157. Ninja Transformation Technique. One of the basic 3 body techniques. Simple, in terms of appearance, whether it is an elementary school student, a middle schooler, a pain, or an Otsutsuki Kagaya, the Rinnegan, Byakugan, and Sharingan cannot be seen through, and it is a bug-level ninjutsu. It can be said that there is a very simple but very easy to use technique. What's wrong? I just used the transformation technique. Shiny, with black hair stuck tightly to his head, the single-braided boy Arano Matsuya frowned and spoke. However, this still failed to convince the students. Each of them either doubts that there is something wrong in life or feels sad. In short, there are various ideas, all of them. It's okay, Hinata Hikari, what's your expression? What are you regretting? But he saw Hinata's face expressionless and covering her small breasts. She says, "This time, my leader will not be hurt. It's because of my leader's heart is already numb." Hinata is really sorry. Before, she was still looking forward to Yesong Zhen, but she turned into a girl. Cough cough. There was a wave in the crowd, and Minato stepped out, but he didn't come here to smooth things over. You don't have to be surprised. I remember, the first Hokage Senju Hashirama-sama once said, the greatest and most common art in the Fire Nation is a man pretending to be a woman. It's not that I never said that at all. However, there are already corpses lying on the ground, and the 1,000-armed tree man may not be able to get up to deny this. Yezong, why do you need to use the transformation technique when you are here? Hinata Hikari was puzzled. Nasomatsu frowned and said, of course it's to avoid stupidity, Umbu. As we all know, there is Konoha, and Umbu is also known as Special Week 250 and Jaja. Its function is to explain, marvel, or die. Because of the turmoil in the ninja world, Konoha has stepped up surveillance, and in Noda, Konoha, there are various informants all over the place. Especially Umbu personnel. They monitored Konoha, most corners. Although outsiders like Yesong seem harmless, children will definitely be monitored by them. So, the method adopted by Yesong was to combine various Earth Spider clans, add continuous secret techniques, and repeatedly disguise themselves with transformation techniques to temporarily avoid the sight of the Umbu. And many more. Just as Hinata Hikari and Nosatsu were chatting, a bald man suddenly emerged from the crowd. I'm afraid. Hikaru Hinata, you know him. Wu-Kei stretched out his hand and pointed his finger, and there was also a question for the person he was talking about. Why would Hinata know someone from another village, kid. This is a problem. Originally, the conversation came to an abrupt end. Because she was so happy to see an acquaintance, Hinata Hikari forgot about this. She shouldn't know Yesong. Her memory of Yesong was still stuck in her previous life. In her previous life, Spider-Man's teammate Arizetsu was a messenger of justice. In this life, Hinata Hikaru plans to graduate early, and also wants to find old friends. But I never thought that Yesong would come to the door in person. Could it be that? Don't worry, everything is fine in my hometown. Yesong shook his head. Hearing this answer, Hinata Hikaru and Namikaze Minato also breathed a sigh of relief. In Yesong's previous life, his hometown was invaded by the ninjas of Tsunagakura village. In the end, everyone was killed and the village was destroyed. As for why I know Hikaru Hinata. Nosatsu turned his head and looked at Wukio. The light in his eyes flashed, showing that he was not afraid of this veteran jounin who had experienced a great war. He was already prepared to fool him, and he had a reason. Walking in Konoha, there are people on the streets who can hear people talking about Hikari without saying anything or asking questions. Yesong looked at Wukei with a look of retardation. Just like in the original work, any random villager will know that Uzumaki Naruto is the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. There is no need to inquire or ask. Hinata Hikaru is very famous, so others are talking about it. Bystanders can gather a lot of information about Hinata Hikari by just standing on the street for a while. Wukei and others suddenly realized. Turn out to be. Without realizing it, Hikaru Hinata has become so famous. Little cataracts, little mental illness, hyagalite, fluctuating murderous intent, this is not Hinata, Gaga, my leader, naughty kid, pit in the brain, huge brain hole. All kinds of keywords can be heard in the mouths of the villagers. Quack, this leader is famous far and wide, everyone knows about it. Hinata was very proud. You are so proud. Wukei wanted to complain about you but finally held back. Your reason is indeed very good. Wukei nodded. Then what's going on with you? Wukei turned his gaze to Hinata. Hey Mr. Wukei, you didn't know that Hinata Hikari is Jiraiya? The students shouted. No matter who he meets, Hinata can fool around with them. There is a kind of people in the world, but they are all the leader of the sect, fertile ground, and quick work. And when you talk about it, some people get very angry. Not only angry but also sad. He saw Ryo Sarutobi's face full of grief and anger, but he had a hard time covering up his loss of composure. He took a deep breath and pointed at Hinata. You don't have to doubt, Hinata Hikaru is indeed like this. One day she went to my house and she said, don't be polite and just treat this place as your home. Don't be polite and just treat this place as your home. Just treat this place as your home. Just have your own home. Everyone's mouths began to twitch crazily. It's shameless and Hyaga Hikari to be able to do this. Although Mr. Wukei was skeptical, he still believed the students. The reason was, he thought that Hikari Arimata was like this, shameless. So, Yamatsu, right? We will go with you to see the Hokage. Afterwards, a group of people walked towards the Hokage building accompanied by various ninja teachers. In this way, the team will be all together. Namikaze Minato looked at Nasomatsu, there was a handsome figure on his back, and a smile of relief appeared on his cheeks. As fate would have it, the three of them, gathered together again. I didn't expect, the outside village is so powerful, guy. R.I. Xiangxiao was standing not far away, staring at the wild pine trees from behind. He could tell that Aranosatsu hadn't used all his strength yet. Gaga Yuri Xiangxiao Yuban leader has said it a long time ago with my leader, the journey is the sea of stars with this vastness, there are many, many strange and powerful things in the world, people one day you will understand. Hinata Hikaru looked like someone who had come before, and he seemed to be talking to Hinata Xiao. Hinata Xiao. After a moment of silence, he shook his head and said, "Say, as if you have experienced it all." In fact, Hyuga Hikaru actually experienced it. Gaga, I'm still young with you. Hinata smiled strangely, stopped talking, and turned to look at Yesong's back. The battle between children from other villages and children from this village came to an end. The appearance of Yesong has made primary school students realize that the world is so vast, and there are many things they don't know about. It's awesome, guy. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 158. There was an early morning the next day. Konoha Ninja School welcomes another transfer student. How should I say it? Tang Ziyi stood on the podium and scratched the back of his head. In the future, Yesong will have fun with us. I hope you will warmly welcome me to campus life. Papa. There was enthusiastic applause in the classroom. Because yesterday, something happened that made many people curious about Yesong. This one is from another village, a student. Unlike Uzumaki Kushina, who exists in a foreign country but also belongs to the country of fire. This gave everyone a sense of freshness. Outside Konoha, what does the village look like? Most elementary school students have never seen it. Okay, here's the next step, Yamatsu-kun. Tangs looked to his side and saw a wild pine standing like a pine tree. Let me introduce myself. Today, Yesong has changed into a simple outfit. The coarse cloth clothes have been changed into brand new ones. The white trousers and leggings are still exquisite, and the top is still fine. It can be seen that the Sandaime Hokage sent someone to make good arrangements for this new student. Being able to obtain permission to enter the school so quickly is closely related to Yesong's strength and acquisition of information. Namatsu showed that even Sarutobi Ryo was struggling. With such a fighting level, the young man is naturally worthy of training. Certainly. More importantly, Yesong is politically correct. Reported the activity traces of the Tsunagaku or village ninjas to the superiors. Well, headed by the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, Konoha's senior officials said. Young man, I see that you are very possessed of the will of fire, so I agree to your request. Resolute and unsmiling, Yesong's face has been redressed accordingly, greatly changing his appearance. He rose directly from the category of native to handsome young man. My wild pine can do bad things and run away, but it can't tell lies. Yesong lowered his head slightly, glanced at everyone, and introduced himself. Everyone. I am me, justice is with you, justice is you, but no one can stand in my way, fight. Yesong waved his hand to match his sword-shaped eyebrows and starry eyes, and his face was so handsome. The single small braid hanging down the back of his head gives him a more personal style. The only problem. His personality is just that of a middle-aged boy. Quack. Hinata laughed strangely. The wild pine here is middle class and upright, wild pine. There are 3 sentences that cannot be separated from justice. There are 2 sentences that cannot be separated from various famous sayings. From now on, campus life will be much more lively. Forehead. Doze began to sweat on his forehead. This wild pine seems to have something wrong with his head. He looks very much like Hikaru Hinata. Don't be like this, it's enough to worry about the Sage of Six Paths and Hikari, but if there is one more problem, it will be a big deal. To say why, the reason is very simple. You see, Yu Yesong, if someone so powerful offends him, there will definitely be another bloody storm. Poor thing, Tang Ziyi has him, and he has a premonition that he will hit the mark this time. Ahem, okay, Yesong-san, you can sit over there. Tang stretched out his hand and arranged a place for Yesong. Behind Namikaze Minato. So. Hinata Hikaru, Namikaze Minato, and wild pine trees sit in rows. The purpose of Dozawa's arrangement was that he believed that he could get along well with Nosatsu, and that he would be a good Mr. Namikaze Minato. Choose wisely. Yesong whispered. I don't want to waste time with boring, weak people. Tangs. In Dozawa, Yonosong was speechless and quickly walked towards his seat. After the get-out-of-class bell rang, the students cheered and gathered around. They were full of curiosity about the wild pine. All kinds of problems emerge one after another. Yamatsu-san, which village are you from? What are your parents like? Yamatsu-san, could you please tell me how you became so powerful? Some people even asked Yu Yesong if he was a childhood sweetheart and what happened when he was young. As the questions came, there were more and more taciturns, and Yesong became more and more impatient. Weak people, stop bothering me. It wasn't until Yesong said these words that the crowd returned to silence. In fact, Yesong is an easy to get along with but difficult to get along with person. He was disgusted that people were chattering in his ears. But if you have an opinion on justice, he would be happy to chat with you for a while. The students looked at each other one by one and seemed to be frightened by Yesong's reaction. Generally speaking, ordinary people like to be welcomed, but it seems that some people are not like this. Namikaze Minato looked around at everyone and decided to smooth things over. After pondering for a moment, he spoke. Yamatsu-san, where is your hometown? How's things going? It's easy to talk to acquaintances naturally. Regardless of whether he was a comrade in his previous life or this life, Namatsu was willing to talk to Namikaze Minato. No need to worry. Yesong shook his head. Hokage-sama has arranged for manpower to be deployed at the border. In the previous life, the Senju clan was completely wiped out in the Second Ninja War. Even Senju Hashirama and son Zayu Senju Nasha died in this war. And the most important reason is, in Konoha, the policy was too soft. The Second Ninja World War started, the ally Sunagakure village unilaterally tore up the treaty, and the Senju clan suffered heavy losses one after another, massively invading the Land of Fire. Since then, the Senju clan has been completely lonely and announced that they will withdraw from the stage of history. The Uchiha clan became the largest clan in Konoha. And in this life, there are wild pines, and early warning, it is very likely that history will be pulled to a completely different place. Maybe, the Senju clan will survive. Namikaze Minato nodded slightly. Since the Hokage-sama has made arrangements, it's good to feel at ease. Where do you live? Namikaze Minato asked again. Namatsu, who attends Konoha Ninja School, naturally needs a place to stay. Hokage-sama arranged a place for me near the city wall. I like the quiet residence there very much. Konoha is built against the mountains. Starting from the Hokage Rock, it spreads in all directions. And surrounding the vast area of Konoha, there is a continuous, tall city wall. Not only are Konoha ninjas patrolling on shift, but there is also a spherical barrier wrapped over Konoha, which prevents the enemy from invading. Yesong, his residence was arranged at the foot of a city wall. There is usually no one there. There are wild pines in the suburbs. I like that kind of leisurely life. The only drawback is that it is relatively far from the ninja school. Is that so? Namikaze Minato nodded and then asked other questions. Everyone looked at the two people and learned a lot about Yesong from the conversation with Minato Namikaze. Their curiosity was satisfied one by one. Gaga Arimatsu, I will invite you to eat Ichiraku ramen after school for a while. Hinata looked very excited. She wanted to let herself, her old teammate, remember the taste of Ichiraku ramen again. Naruto, who can't eat Ichiraku ramen. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 159. In the blink of an eye, a month has passed. The transfer student turmoil also calmed down. Students also quickly accepted having new classmates. But the situation with Uzumaki Kushina is different from before. No one dares to laugh at Yesong. The reason for all this is nature, because the wild pine has strength. As long as the fist is big enough, although it cannot be said to convince others, at least, it will save a lot of trouble. Just as Hyuga Hikaru has Blue Star, his hometown is money, and everything has it. This world is full of power, omnipotent. On the other hand, if others don't cause trouble for Yesong, Yesong is very good at making trouble for others. What followed was that all the teachers and students in the school quickly became familiar with the newly appointed disciplinary committee member. Yesong is the disciplinary committee member. Yesong, a newly created position, is dedicated to maintaining school security. Teacher Wu-kei personally presented the award to Yesong. Teacher Wu-kei is very optimistic about Yesong because he thinks this young man is very similar to himself in the past. What could be more suitable to be this kind of impartial arbiter than a young boy who just opens his mouth to judge justice? Under the appointment of Teacher Wu-kei, Yesong punished rape and eradicated evil and became a campus messenger of justice. Why do you guys bring useless fights to campus? Why do weak people fight? I will not kill the weak or women. In the ninja school, Yesong's words began to float. As time goes by, it becomes as brainwashed as Hinata Hikari has his leader. Originally, Hinata Hikaru alone was enough to make people despair, but now there was added a Chuyunibu Namatsu. The pupils were stunned. They even gave Hinata Hikari and Namatsu a combined name. Mindless and unhappy. Mindless and natural, Hyuga Hikari. Unhappy, Arano Matsu kept a straight face all day long and demanded justice if he disagreed. No one can deny that Yesong has contributed to maintaining school security. It is now early morning time and students have come to see the ninja school. As soon as I arrived at the school gate, I heard Yesong saying new lines again. If the enemy is too weak, you will feel empty after fighting, hateful. He saw Yesong gritting his teeth and clenching his fists, and he looked unhappy. Behind him, there is a section of thick tree trunk sticking out from above, with white spider cocoons hanging on it. Put me down, let us down quickly. White spider cocoons twisting left and right are dangling in the air. Ah yes, there is a new victim, so pitiful. At once. When the students came here, they stopped one after another to look at the unlucky children who were wrapped in spider cocoons with only their faces exposed. Some of them, newcomers, don't know the rules. Some of them can't help but want to cause trouble. They were all hung by wild pine trees on a tree trunk above the school gate. A gust of wind blew, accompanied by the cries of ghosts and howls of wolves, and each one of these unlucky souls was dazzled in the wind. Mummy. Only one face was shown, and the victims were crying bitterly. These spider cocoons contain so little chakra that even kunao is difficult to cut, so, the unlucky children want to break through, unless they have the Byakugan and soft fist of the Hyuga clan. The students stopped to watch for a while and then quickly walked into the school. Hey, I told you. But even so, people are still not afraid of wild pine trees. Blood red pepper Kushina. She stood opposite Yesong, pinching her waist and looking a little unhappy. What's the matter? Woman. Yesong frowned tightly. You work so hard to maintain order, do you want to become Hokage? 1 month is enough time for Kushina to accept this call. Because except for Hinata Hikari, there are girls, and all women, and Namatsu will all use women to address them. Fire shadow. There was doubt in Yesong's tone. I asked you if a woman being Hokage can bring peace to the ninja world. A sharp voice means seriousness and a face. This actually made Kushina Uzumaki, who was originally planning to laugh at Namatsu, stunned. Although this seems to Kushina to be a piece of peace, which is very ridiculous. But someone who is so serious should probably answer the questions he has. Kushina thought carefully and nodded. Of course, the first Hokage Senju Hashirama brought peace to the ninja world. And now what? Now there is a war in the ninja world, and there will be another war. I ask you, where is the peace? Yasanju's question caused Uzumaki Kushina to suddenly get stuck. Since the Hokage cannot bring peace to the ninja world, then, no, my appeal has a target. After that, Namatsu stopped paying attention to Uzumaki Kushina and stared at the students who were causing trouble. The Commissioner of Discipline Inspection armband is shining brightly on his sleeves. Uzumaki Kushina was stunned for a moment. Hey, you are really weird. You are just one mouthful. Do you know that others secretly call you and Hinata Hikari, a psychotic duo who are brainless and unhappy? Uzumaki Kushina's words were almost gone, but as soon as Nasomatsu's eyes fell, she suddenly turned this way. Woman. He must have spoken. Mental illness is not abnormal. At least they have a heart, and freedom. It's not normal because you're not normal. Kushina's mouth twitched and she ran away. Like the other students, she was driven crazy by Yamatsuyu's second-grade speech. Hu ho ho. In the distance is the Hokage building. Through the crystal ball on the desk, he used the A-level ninjutsu telescope to observe Sarutobi Hiruzen, who took in most of the scenes in the ninja school. Namatsu and Kushina are hanging in the tree, and the poor guy is Hinata Hikaru. All flashing back and forth in the crystal ball. Seeing this scene, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but reveal a knowing smile on his weather-beaten face. He, the Hokage, is the head of the village. In addition to being responsible for handling various ninja affairs, he also serves as the second ninja school principal. As for the first, naturally, the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama founded the ninja school. Sarutobi Hiruzen will pay attention to the physical and mental health of the children from time to time. Regardless of whether Hinata Hikari or Namatsu, they have made outstanding contributions to maintaining the stability of the ninja school. Uchiha Futaba brother and sister, Inyazuka Bones, Senju Momika, Uzumaki Kushin. Many children have undergone some good changes under the influence of Hinata Hikaru and others. Sarutobi. A voice from behind interrupted the Sandame's recollection. Sarutobi Hiruzen turned his head. Koharu, Mitaman, and Danzo Shimura appeared here. Mito-sama, he is dying. The Sandame Hokage's eyes suddenly widened, then turned dim and sighed. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 160. Mito-sama, she. Sarutobi Hiruzen hesitated. Unexpectedly, Mito-sama would. Obviously he was very tough a few days ago. The presence of Kiwabai has caused Mito-sama's physical condition to deteriorate rapidly. Although we are very heartbroken, we cannot hesitate to delay Sarutobi's matter. Xiao-chun, who had the most anxious temper and turned to bed, said. The first priority is that the Jinchuriki have something to do. Mito Manabu adjusted his glasses on the bridge of his nose. The balance of combat power between countries is maintained because of the tailed beasts. Konoha cannot afford to lose Kiwabai. Hurry up, Hiruzen, let's start making preparations. The old bastards and the Umbu directly under you have already made preparations to transfer the Kiwabai. The only thing left is to let Kushina simulate the transfer. Kiwabai has a process. A cold light flashed in Danzo Shimura's eyes as he leaned on his cane. Utilizing the Uzumaki Mito sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan, King Kong is blocked. This technique firmly fixes the nine tails in the Jinchuriki's body. After Kushina Uzumaki was brought to Konoha, Mito Uzumaki taught her this powerful natural sealing technique. All that is possible is that Kushina can become the next Jinchuriki. This sealing technique will cause chains to emerge from the Jinchuriki's body, which is so powerful that even the tailed beasts cannot resist. People say that the Uzumaki clan is descended from the Sage of Six Paths. Although there is no evidence to support this statement, this legend is believed by many people. Alright. The Sandaime Hokage's eyes struggled for a moment and became firm again. The person who presided over the tailed beast transfer was naturally him. Sometimes, 4 elephant seals may be used to transfer tailed beasts. He had his master's wife, Uzumaki Mito, pass the sealing technique on to him. The reason is that one day the 9 tails transfer can be successfully completed using the 4 symbols seal and the King Kong blockade. The current dark parts and roots are ready. The only thing left to do is to test Uzumaki Kushina's usual results and let her simulate the transfer process of the 9 tails. Because the matter is too important, it must be rehearsed in advance. After the bell rang for class, the students stood listlessly on the playground waiting for the upcoming training. There are classes that seem a little tense recently. Perhaps it has something to do with the lack of peace in the ninja world, so the amount of training has increased a lot. The first year class where Hinata Hikari and others were also placed. The content of the training is quite simple, including the 3-body technique and ninja tool throwing. In fact, this was due to the fact that Konoha's top brass considered that the war would inevitably cause a shortage of personnel. The result is chaos and no choice, so every student can rely on machines and practice repeatedly to sharpen their guns. To put it bluntly, a large number of cannon fodders are needed to forcefully fill in the cannon fodder with life to achieve victory in the war. Intensify. Tuk tuk ko now hit. Intensify. Tuk tuk ko now hits again. Doze urged the students to practice with a tight face. However, in the ninja tool throwing course, which was full of complaints and tensions, several people did not look nervous at all. Hinata Hikaru, Namikaze Minato, and Wild Pine. The 3 of them stood in a row. Because his grades are too good, he doesn't need to train with those who Hinata Hikaru calls scumbags. This leader always feels that Kushina is worried about something. Hinata Hikaru suddenly spoke. Uzumaki Kushina has become very strange these days. Wushi, whose temper has calmed down a lot, is always in a daze sometimes. Even more strange is, sometimes people just leave halfway through the class. Such things as absenteeism. Kushina Uzumaki has never done that. Following Hinata's gaze, Uzumaki Kushina was sitting on the ground with her knees crossed. Don't know what to think. Kushina didn't hear Dozawa even though he called her by name several times. It was not until Dozawa walked over with a frown and patted Kushina on the shoulder that Kushina was startled. This kind of behavior made Hinata Hikaru even more suspicious. Hikaru Hinata-san. Namikaze Minato pondered for a moment. The matter of Uzumaki Kushina being regarded as the 9-tailed Jinchuriki, he didn't know whether to talk about it or not. Namikaze Minato is internally conflicted. Since it was confidential, Minato Namikaze wasn't supposed to know anything. But because Namikaze Minato, who had memories from his previous life, was able to deduce that something was about to happen. The leader of Namikaze Minato knows that you know. Hinata's exquisitely clear eyes when she turned her head were definitely looking at Namikaze Minato. At this time, Hinata Hikaru's little face became less nervous and more serious and dignified. Can't you tell me this? No, it's not. Namikaze Minato waved his hands repeatedly. It's very important and confidential. Yes, Namikaze Minato nodded slightly with a very complicated heart. There is something that I, the leader, can do nothing about, Hinata Hikaru asked again. This time, Namikaze Minato didn't give a direct answer. But, silence. There was so much silence that Yesong frowned. Before this unbearable atmosphere reaches its peak. This is what we are doing, Minato Namikaze sighed. No one can do anything about it? Before this world had fighting power, before it became a place where people were flying Gundams and using plug-ins to fight each other. Tailed beasts must exist. It is an important treasure that ensures the survival of the Fire Nation. It's very funny. The survival of the Fire Country actually depends on a girl for sacrifice. Sacrificing one person can save countless people. Is this choice correct? Namikaze Minato thought this must be a mistake. But the cruelty and reality forced Konoha's top management to make a choice. Sacrificing Kushina Uzumaki will turn her into a prison that besieges the tailed beasts for the rest of her life. That is, the Jinchuriki. After hearing Namikaze Minato tell the truth about the Jinchuriki, Hinata Hikaru's figure froze for a moment. Human strength. She never thought that Uzumaki Kushina would endure such pain. After a long while, Hinata shook her little head. It seems, this leader is still too weak. No, Hinata Hikari-san, you don't have to blame yourself. It's not your fault. Minato Namikaze signaled Hinata Hikari not to think like this. Of course we have to think like this. Yasong clenched his fists as if he was trying to endure something he couldn't bear. He denied Namikaze Minato's statement. Because we can only watch but can't feel anything. In his previous life, Yasong watched helplessly as everyone in his hometown was killed by the ninjas of Sunagakure village. He has the most profound experience of this kind of powerlessness and feeling. Is there really a way? Konoha has peace, but it is necessary to sacrifice a child to maintain this kind of thing. It is wrong. Anger is burning. Yasong can tolerate any injuries from swords but cannot tolerate injustice. Can't this leader communicate with Kuwabai? Hinata Hikaru suddenly asked. I'm afraid, can't. Namikaze Minato shook his head. The most vicious of the nine-tailed beasts is the Kuwabai. It is conceivable that the Kuwabai hated Konoha for having it sealed for decades. It wanted to destroy the entire Konoha in one fell swoop. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 161. Then why can't older ninjas become Jinchuriki? Yasong asked again. Adult ninja. A certain name flashed through Namikaze Minato's mind. In Hidden Cloud Village, the current 8 Tails Jinchuriki, Blue B, is Buobi Blue B. He is the nephew of the 3rd Raikage, the son of the 3rd Raikage, and the cousin of the future 4th Raikage. Buobi became the 8 Tails Jinchuriki when he was approaching adulthood. This, I'm afraid the higher UPS have considered that 9 Tails needs a stronger container to seal it. So far, the Kuwabai has only been sealed in the bodies of Uzumaki clan members, which is the case of Uzumaki Mito. According to past experience, the Uzumaki clan should be able to accommodate the Kuwabai better. The atmosphere fell into silence for a while. Hinata Hikari, Namatsu, and Namikaze Minato didn't speak. Kushina, someone is looking for you. Doza's voice sounded, bringing the three of them back to reality. At the school gate, there was a Konoha ninja standing there. He looks very ordinary and looks like a passerby. But some people, he is a Konoha ninja on the surface, but in fact he also has Umbu responsibilities. This Umbu was here to inform Uzumaki Kushina that the time had come to transfer the Kuwabai. He nodded towards Kushina. Kushina's pupils shrank and she immediately realized something. Under Dozawa's slightly confused gaze, Kushina ran towards the Umbu. What was said between the two of them? Kushina's little face suddenly turned pale. She took a deep breath to calm down her emotions, but she still couldn't help crying. After a while, Kushina wiped her eyes and ran over. And the students obviously noticed this. They were wondering why Kushina was crying. Isn't she a bloody red pepper who is fearless? Haha, look, the bloody red pepper is crying. Some students pointed at Kushina and laughed. Uzumaki Kushina-kun, I didn't expect you to cry sometimes. A burst of laughter broke out all around. But it was obviously a smile filled with good intentions. It must be nothing like becoming the nine-tailed Jinchuriki. Kushina, come and line up quickly, it's your turn soon. Tang Ziyi frowned and interrupted the laughter of the naughty children. Uzumaki Kushina's eyes couldn't help but turn red as she watched this scene. Her destiny is to become the container of the nine tails. This day has finally arrived. Everyone. Kushina tried to hold back her tears. It's been a pleasure getting along with you these days. I want to continue living like a normal person. This small wish can no longer be realized. Kushina-san, what are you talking about? The students looked at each other, wondering why Kushina suddenly said these words. Kushina, what happened? Tangs put away his expression and asked somewhat seriously. After that, he glanced at the school gate. The ninja was still standing there, seemingly waiting. No. Uzumaki Kushina wiped the corners of her eyes. I have something to do at home and I want to take leave. Dozawa was silent for a moment, staring at Kushina. He didn't know what happened. Because even Dozawa is not qualified to know about confidential matters like Kyuubi. Dozawa, like countless other Konoha shinobi, didn't even know that Konoha controlled the Kyuubi. They are just ordinary people. Okay, if something happens, tell the teacher and the teacher will help you solve it. Tang said solemnly. However, Kushina shook her head. This is something no one can help with. Then, she forced a smile. After that, she quickly escaped from here. She was afraid that if she continued to stay here, she would cry uncontrollably. The fate she must accept, the fate of becoming the vessel of the Kyuubi. Hinata Hikaru and the other two just stared at Kushina. After Kushina left the school gate, the Konoha ninja, that is, the Umbu left with Kushina. Uzumaki Kushina's request for leave lasted until a week later. A week later, a somewhat sick Uzumaki Kushina returned to class. She looked much more haggard. And Tang Ziyi and other ninja teachers also knew something. A big deal. Uzumaki Mito-sama, the wife of the first Hokage Senju Hashirama, passed away. And Uzumaki Kushina and Uzumaki Mito are of the same race. Dozawa and others all know this. They guessed that the reason why Uzumaki Kushina was so sad was because of Mito Uzumaki's death. Dead people cannot be resurrected. Kushina, please show your condolences. Dozawa gently patted Kushina's shoulder. He didn't know what to say, so he could only say this dryly. Kushina smiled back, a very forced smile. In fact, it's much more than that. But, although Uzumaki Mito is no longer here, Konoha still arranged for people to take care of Uzumaki Kushina and ensure her food and daily life. But Uzumaki Kushina also knows. This is surveillance at the same time. Watch her, watch Kyuubi. The fact that she became the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. So far, only a few people know about it. 4 high-level officials of Konoha, a small number of Umbu, Tsunade. Just these few people. This is something that even Jiraiya and Orochimaru have no right to know. Tsunade only knew because she was Uzumaki Mito's granddaughter. If she loses this identity, even she will lose the qualification to know. But I'm afraid no one would think of it. In addition, there are several other people who know about this. Hinata Hikari, Wild Pine, and Namikaze Minato. Kushina, she has become so haggard. Hinata whispered. Generally speaking, Jinchuriki will only become more and more energetic. It's like some kind of symbiotic relationship. To a greater or lesser extent, the tailed beast will interact with its host. So, this also means. I'm afraid, it's not a physical problem. Namikaze Minato shook his head. How do you say it? Yesong asked. Namikaze Minato scratched his hair and pondered a little. It is said that, Tailed beasts and Jinchuriki will have some kind of connection. This allows them to be in dreams, or in their hearts. Between consciousness. In other words, Kushina can see Kuwabai. Kuwabai eating poop. Hinata Hikaru remembered what a certain fat tanuki said. Kuwabai loves to eat poop. That's really scary. Hinata nodded very seriously. The Kuwabai just opened his mouth and had to smoke Kushina to death. No wonder Kushina looked so bad. Yeah, it's scary. Namikaze Minato nodded, his expression unusually serious. However, the two of them seemed to be thinking completely differently. What will happen to her after becoming a Jinchuriki? Nasomatsu frowned. What other changes will there be? You will get Pavo. Hinata nodded affirmatively. Pavo power. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 162. After becoming a vessel, in addition to bearing the name of Jinchuriki, it is not completely without benefits. This is equivalent to having a nuclear bomb directly inserted into the body. In other words, as long as Uzumaki Kushina can use the power of the Nine Tails, she will be a shadow-level player at worst. Not to mention, even if she doesn't have the Kuwabai, she can achieve things that ordinary cage-level people can't do just by relying on her own King Kong blockade, the Uzumaki clan's innate skill. Binding the tailed beast. The technique of King Kong blockade is so powerful that even the Nine Tails can only be nailed into Kushina's body obediently. Uzumaki Kushina, Konoha's first assistant. Maybe I, the leader, should think on the bright side. Kushina has opened such a powerful cheat, oh. Hinata expressed her envy with a small face. Namikaze Minato. Yes, song. Probably, the only one who can be as optimistic as this is Hinata Hikari. After class, the students greeted Kushina, who they hadn't seen for a week. This made Kushina feel the kindness from around her. At the same time, Kushina also knew that the reason why the school's atmosphere has become so upright recently is inseparable from Nasomatsu's efforts. With one mouthful of righteous wild pine, he knocked down all the villains to the ground, and then hung them at the school gate for public display. However, in just a few weeks, the atmosphere of the ninja school has completely changed. But Kushina also thought about it. What would happen if one day, people around her knew that she was the nine-tailed Jinchuriki? Probably, the attitude will change directly. Would call her a monster. Still a demon fox. Kushina rubbed her fingers, feeling a little uneasy. Time flies, and in a blink of an eye, it's the 6th month of Kushina's enrollment. That is the end of next semester. During this period, the Second Ninja War finally broke out. Militant factions in various countries have the right to speak in their own countries. After the First Ninja War, more than 20 years later, the renewed war has spread across the ninja world. Iwagakure village, the country with the strongest national power, took the lead in attacking. Under the leadership of the Sandaime Tsuchikage two scales Oniki, the daimyo and officials of Earth Country and the Tsuchikage and senior officials of Iwagakure village united as one. In the original work, the Sanzan Iwa ninjas sent 10,000 ninjas to besiege the Sandaime Raikage. At present, during the Second Ninja World War, the national power of Iwagakure village is even stronger, with more than 15,000 ninjas, making it the most powerful country in terms of military strength. Iwagakure village has implemented a thorough military national policy for a long time and has 4-tailed Jinchuriki and 5-tailed Jinchuriki. They believe in the stone spirit and unite as one, refusing to look back. The large army of Iwagakuer divided into several groups and attacked Tsunagakuer, Konoha, Amegakuer, Kuzagakuer, Longakuer, Kyumegakuer. It can be said that it is very arrogant to use the power of one country to declare war on all surrounding countries. The second country to take the initiative is Cloud Hidden Village in the Country of Thunder. The ninjas of Kyumegakuer are slightly more powerful than the ninjas of Konoha, possessing both the two-tailed Jinchuriki and the eight-tailed Jinchuriki. Respects swordsmanship and taijutsu, ninjutsu. In order to enhance national power, Union Village continues to develop ninjutsu and ninja tools, and plunders the resources of other countries. It is worth mentioning that the economic strength of Kyumegakuer village is more than twice that of Konoha. The current leader is the Sandaime Raikage. Raikage has always been held by the Yayu clan, who were born with strong physiques. Those who become Raikage can inherit the name Ai. Raikages of all generations have ruled Kyumegakuer village using methods similar to the mafia. Because of the relationship of hatred from the past 20 years. The chain of hatred was inherited, and the Taihanhan Sandaime Raikage immediately sent troops to launch a counter-attack against the attack on Iwagakuer village. The third country to be dispatched is the island country of Kirigakuer village in the water country, which has the 3 tails and 6 tails. Kirigakuer village is also known as the village of the blood mist and in the blood mist. Under the cruel leadership of the Sandaime Mizukage, a veteran ninja who participated in the first 5 Shadows conference, a reign of terror was implemented. Not only for other countries, but also for the ninjas in Kirigakuer village, the name Blood Mist is a nightmare. Like a shark that smelled blood, despite its small population, Kirigakuer village took advantage of the island country's geographical location to boldly attack everywhere and join the war. The fourth one to attack was Tsunagakuer village. In terms of pure military strength of ninjas, Tsunagakuer village is even inferior to Kirigakuer village. However, through the study of one tale, the previous Kazekage of Tsunagakuer village obtained the magnetic release blood inheritance limit. Moreover, in order to make up for the gap in combat power with the other 4 great powers, Tsunagakuer village actively invested in the use of tailed beast weapons such as the one-tailed Jinchuriki. At the same time, various elite soldier strategies such as puppet troops can be formed. Under the leadership of the Sandaime Kazekage, who was able to control magnetic release sand iron and was known as the strongest, Tsunagakuer village was unwilling to lag behind and sent troops to Konoha, Amegakuer, and Iwagakuer. The last country among the 5 great countries, the Hidden Leaf village of the Country of Fire. Following the teachings of the first Hokage Senju Hashirama, Konoha loves peace and does not want to fight, but is not afraid of war. Although they passively entered the battle, the Konoha ninjas still bravely resisted the invaders. It is worth mentioning that although Konoha has the 9-tailed Jinchuriki, it is the only country that does not use tailed beast weapons. Not only that, the existence of the Kyuubi and the Jinchuriki are both secret. Except for 4 high-level officials of Konoha and a very few people, 99.99% of Konoha villagers and ninjas are unaware of the existence of Kyuubi in Konoha. And because of Yesong's warning, history begins to shift. The Thousand Hands clan was supposed to bear the brunt and suffered heavy losses. After Konoha made enough advance preparations and protection, the losses were minimized. In other words, Yesong deserves a lot of credit. Therefore, Tsunade did not become dissatisfied with the third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen like in the original work. The survival of the tribe also left Tsunade unchanged. Tsunade and her clan actively resisted the invaders, just like other heroic Konoha ninjas. Namikaze Minato, Namatsu, and Hinata Hikari have no idea what changes the historical shift will cause. But for them, they foresee something happening and cannot just watch it. This is the most important thing. Of course, the changes caused by the butterfly effect will definitely be subtle, and even expand into a storm that sweeps the entire ninja world. Lost the profit, lost the spoiler. It also means losing the possibility of saving your life in some way. But Hinata Hikaru is not the kind of person who follows the rules and walks step by step. Hinata Hikari and her happy little friends are ready to face this change. And a lot of things have changed, and a lot of things have stayed the same. Hinata Hikaru will do her best to realize her journey to the stars and the sea. Volume 1 finished. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version. Hinata JoJo's Bizarre Konoha Adventure. Author, Chaos Theory. Chapter 163. Hokage-sama. Hokage-sama. On this sunny morning, a ninja teacher rushed into the office so fast that he even hit his head on the desk. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, was worried about the war, and there were mountains of documents piled on his desk. The second ninja war started too quickly, and the Fire Country was attacked by Tsunagakuer. In addition, Iwagakuer, Kyumigakuer, and Kirigakuer are also eyeing Konoha. There are also some small ninja villages who are also trying to gain benefits from this war. Well, it's Teacher Wuke, what's wrong? The Sandaime Hokage frowned and asked angrily. The desk was banged by Teacher Wuke's bald head, and the pile of documents was almost knocked over. Hokage-sama, please look, please look. The bald Teacher Wuke got up from the ground, ran to the Hokage's desk in 3 steps and showed the file in his hand to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Well, these are. The Sandaime Hokage leaned over and took a few glances. Who? It's Hikari Hinata, Teacher Wuke shouted in a loud voice. Up there. This is Hinata Hikari's recent deeds. Breaking the classroom glass or damaging the lawn are trivial matters. She also teased the teacher. The teachers complained about this, but there was nothing they could do. 2 days ago, Hinata Hikaru even sent a child of the Uchiha clan to the hospital, well, with a small fist. Therefore, the teachers could only go to the Hokage's office to make small reports. After collecting more than 100 bad things about Hinata, Mr. Wuke hurried over. Well. The Sandaime Hokage blinked. Isn't there a wild pine tree? Discipline committee member, Yesong. Yamatsu is no match for Hinata Hikari, Teacher Wuke said frantically. No, actually Namatsu and Hinata Hikari are in the same group. Hokage-sama, you must not ignore Hinata Hikaru. The number of times she has caused trouble is enough to leave her name in history. Ever since the ninja school was established by the second Hokage Senju Tobirama, there has never been such a problem. Bear's child. Teacher Wuke was very angry. Even his tone of voice increased a few degrees unconsciously. Well, Teacher Wuke, didn't I say that this kid Xiaoguang? Hinata's family is separated, right? Ah. It's not normal to have mental problems, isn't it? So, we have to tolerate her, she is just a poor child. The pity is on us, Hokage-sama, you don't even know, Hinata Hikari. The Sandaime Hokage waved his hand to interrupt Teacher Wuke's complaint. At the same time, his face also changed into an inexplicably serious and sad expression. This expression successfully stunned Teacher Wuke. Teacher Wuke, this child Xiaoguang has a brain problem to begin with. What we have to do is not to care for her growth and let her live happily. But, Hokage-sama, she is happy, but we are not happy anymore. Teacher Wuke tilted his head and asked. His forehead was bright. Hiruzen Sarutobi nodded. This is what we should assume as teachers. I have been working hard since I took over the position of principal of the ninja school from the Nidaime-sama more than 20 years ago. Mr. Wuke, you and other teachers should take on more. But even so, if we take more responsibility, that's not the reason for Hinata Hikaru to do bad things casually. Teacher Wuke. The Sandaime Hokage knocked on the table. That child is a victim of the family struggle. Actually, I never told you, Hinata Hikaru, it was because of the mark of the caged bird that her mind was burned. What a pitiful child. No, I think even if her head isn't burned out, her skin will be badly burned. Yes. The Sandaime Hokage nodded. Children are like this, even Sarutobi Ryo is disobedient sometimes at home. Snapped. Teacher Wuke slammed the table violently, startling the Sandaime Hokage. This action also successfully interrupted his speech. By the time Sarutobi Hiruzen looked over, the report on the table recording Hikari's misdeeds and signed by all the teachers had been held down by Wuke. Wuke narrowed his eyes and looked at the supreme leader of Konoha in front of him. Hokage-sama, you mean, just let her do whatever she wants? Well, that's right. The Sandaime Hokage nodded, as if it was a matter of course. Also, this is not just for her to run wild. As a gardener teacher, you should be diligent in correcting and teaching children. Hey hey. Wuke suddenly sneered. Hokage-sama, I discovered something recently. Wuke was a little proud. What's the matter? The third-generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. Some time ago, when I went to an izakaya to have dinner with other teachers, I accidentally got up and overheard the conversation in the box next door. Oh. They are your disciples Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Oh. Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya usually appear in the izakaya when they have a class reunion. Tsunade and Jiraiya are very good at drinking. Although Orochimaru cannot drink, he will always be pulled over by the first two. So, it's normal for 3 people to show up at an izakaya. I heard them say that their plan to recruit disciples failed. Wuke stood up slowly and took a deep breath, as if he had some handle. Because of the performance of the 3 incompetent disciples, you decided to go out in person and recruit Hikaru Hinata as your disciple, although I don't know what you think highly of Hikaru Hinata, but, in this way, wouldn't she have a much closer relationship with you, huh? So you plan to protect Hinata Hikari? Nonsense. The third-generation Hokage spoke righteously. There is no such thing. It must be the lies made by my 3 incompetent disciples after they were drunk. They cannot be taken seriously. Do not have it? No, the Sandaime Hokage nodded vigorously. Hey, Hokage-sama, in every ninja teacher meeting, you always teach us not to have relationships. Teacher Wuke, you can go out now. The Sandaime Hokage stretched out his finger and pointed to the door. Whispering sound. Teacher Wuke curled his lips and walked away angrily. Seeing Wuke slamming the door and leaving, the Sandaime Hokage rubbed the corners of his eyebrows. Teacher Wuke is good at everything, but he is too upright and cannot tolerate a grain of sand in his eyes. As a comrade who survived the first ninja war, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't accuse Wuke of anything. He is the Hokage and Wuke is the ninja teacher. But before that, they were companions, comrades in arms. And Wuke-sensei was entrusted by the previous Hokage, and he also carried a heavy burden on his shoulders. It's a conflict between different positions. Only. Hiruzen Sarutobi frowned. Then what's the purpose of this kid doing this? Sarutobi Hiruzen believed that Hinata Hikaru was definitely not just messing around, there must be some reason. If the chapter is wrong, click here to report it. Mobile phone users, please visit CSW. Reading for a better reading experience. The bookshelf is synchronized with the computer version.